bienvenue à la France. Hello everybody, welcome to La Plagne for the start of the 5th race weekend at the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. Hello and welcome back to La Plagne for the first time for the women's skeleton races since 2013. La Plagne have been off the calendar a couple of times in the last century, or in this century, but everybody delighted to be back here on what is a snowy Friday morning. Well, in comparison to Winterberg last weekend, this is a longer track, 1,500 meters, 19 corners, and it picks up speed pretty quickly right from the start. And the start, well, for the skeleton athletes, look how far away the brow is. Not there, not yet, now over the brow. Very gentle brow. They all complain it feels like a marathon run. Marina Gilardoni, the start record holder from back in the 2012 December race, and picking up speed very quickly down through the early corners. First big test, big pressure, double pressure corner 4, then sweeping down through 5 and towards the left-handed corner 6 just after the luge start for the women. Big pressure there as well. Very easy to crash off 6. 7, 8, 9 come at you in quick succession, then into another big omega corner, corner 10, another 2 pressure corner 11, and then corner 12. And then it really corkscrew down out of 12, really hurtling down the mountain now through 13, 14, and then this right-left, 15, 16 crossover, very tricky indeed. See a lot of drama there with the skeleton and the bobsleigh through 17, right-handed at 18, and then the long double right-hander. You drop down into a lot of these corners off the straight, you barely see anything, and out of the finish corner. And the track record goes back to December 2000, set by Great Britain's Alex Coomber, who 2 years later, of course, went on to win Olympic bronze, the first of 6 Olympic medals for Great Britain skeleton. That's double more than anybody else's total, including Germany. Well, Janine Flock, our World Cup champion, is lying second in the World Cup table behind Jacqueline Lurling. Lurling with the advantage after 3 of the races so far, 3 of the races so far this season. And Lurling, the reigning world champion. Not too many of the athletes have got experience of this track. This woman has, Janine Flock. She raced back here in December 2012. They also trained in January 2015, the last time we were here, but the women didn't race. The men had a 1-heat race. There's somebody who we could be looking at for real podium potential, smoking away from the starts, Canada's Mimi Reneva, and she goes off well in the middle of the field, in 4th place among the top sliders. So Savannah Grable will be the first of our 21 athletes. Only the fast 20 go through into the second heat, so unless there is a tie for 20th place, in which case both athletes go through, we will be losing one of our sliders before heat 2.
Here we go, Savannah, let's go!
So getting things underway for most women in this skeleton field. Race 4, La Plagne in France, is going to be a voyage into the unknown. Very few of them were here in 2015. Savannah Graybill is our rabbit. She's the first out of the traps from the USA. 31-year-old from Denver, Pennsylvania. 6:67 now compared to last weekend's very short start in Winterberg. A long start here, but they pick up speed very quickly indeed. The rules here are the same though. It's not the person who steers the most who wins, it's the person who steers the least. Out of corner 6, nice and safely. Flying down past the junior luge start. Big corner 10, and then into 12. Setting the speeds all the way down, 125 kilometers an hour now. She comes in around the viewing area in corner 16. Rubble speed here means that's not going to be too much of a problem. And a new track record, 1 minute 2.30. Well, the track record was a 1 minute 2.81 set by Alex Coomber back in 2000. So that has stood for 19 years almost, nearly 20 years. It was December 2000, so 19 years. And Savannah Grable with a new track record. Now, the chances are that will be beaten within the next few minutes. But for right now...
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Hey, Mom, hey, Dad. Savannah Grable, whatever ungodly hour you're watching at, has a new track record. Well, next up is Germany's Sophia Grable, the former loser. Savannah was in her 30th World Cup race. This is the 37th for Grable. Has not yet claimed a World Cup medal. Best results have been 4th positions. She raced here in the Intercontinental Cup. That's the second tier of sliding in skeleton. Back in 2010, took silver medals in both the races. 6:37, so 3/10 quicker than Savannah at the start. She's a slighter, smaller athlete, so she may not accelerate as quickly. Had a little bit more speed than Savannah into the first corner. There's the men's loose start coming in, about corner 5 for our athletes, cleanly out of 6. See how fast the corners come at you here. That's corner 10 already. She's only 35 seconds in. 6/10 up on Savannah Grable. Possibly another track record unless she crashes it. Down through 15 and 16. That crossover very rapid indeed. They're travelling at 124 kilometres an hour. Grable is losing speed to Grable though. Grable, is that the same name, just anglicised? Could well be. Across the line, 1:02.05 for Sophia Grable. I'm not sure how many times she sets a track record in her career, but like Savannah Grable, she too sets a new mark. A new race director here in Plagne and a bunch of new track workers as well. And they are determined that this track will become a regular racetrack again rather than a tourist attraction. They have thousands of tourists coming down in monobobs, in taxi bobs and in rafts during the season. There are none coming down this week at all. They're turning away around €50,000 in revenue. Well, here is a World Cup debutante from Albertville, the host city for the games here in '92. Now lives in Plagne for France, Agathe Bessard. She was an alpine skier when she was a youngster, but her dad was a boss at the track when she was a kid, and she always said she wanted to slide. She always said she wanted to slide skeleton. I said to her, no interest in bobsleigh? No, none. She wanted to slide skeleton. Now let's see what her track knowledge is like. She was training here just before Christmas. First time ever in the big leagues of the World Cup. She's raced in Europa Cup, North America's Cup, and in the second tier of sliding ICC. She's done a races as well. Little skid there. How close is she going to be? 6/10 back. She was 5/10 back on Grable at the start, so she's closing the gap again. 1:25.4. Best speed we see from Agathe Bessard. The French girl is absolutely flying at the bottom of the track. That's 78 miles an hour head first. And coming across the line, she won't set a new record, but a 1:02.47 on her debut. I think she's going to make the second heat. If she doesn't with speed like that, then that's insane. So a little wild halfway down the run. Agathe Bessard, the 21-year-old from Plagne. Her first ever World Cup start. Again here, look, she allows the height in the first pressure in 16, drops way out of sight. That's okay with a skeleton. Keep the momentum up. Nice exit here. Does it break into a skid? No. And the tiniest little nudge away there from the filleting.
From Canada,
Proud French lass, her first ever World Cup start. Now from Canada, the woman who's been smoking the start all the way through training. Let's see what Mimi Reneva has got. Start record set by Marina Gilardoni in December 2012, 6:33. And it's a 6:25, so a new start record for Mimi Reneva. Now, can she convert that and her training pace into a first heat lead? thing that Mimi does have is relaxation on the sled, and that's really critical here. Nice exit from corner 6. The hard steer as she got a late run. Late off there as well, down into 10. Out of 11 and into 12. So few women in this field have got any experience of this track, even in Europa Cup. Using the push as well. Nice exit out of 16. She's in the lead still, but it's come down from 1200s at the start to only 900s over Sophia Griebel. Is she in front of the line? No, 1600s back in second. So a 102 at 21. Sophia Griebel still the leader. Mimi Reneva just stops before the concrete. Look, the concrete is right there. There is no ice beyond those mats. Jackie Narracott helping with the sleds. Jackie not sliding here this weekend, but she will be calling the men's race later today. Well, a blistering start from Mimi Reneva. Sled just got away from her 2 or 3 times down the run. She was 2300s up early on. Lost her speed later down. Silver medalist last weekend. She could well be in the medals here again. So could this woman, Janine Flock. Her 77th World Cup. 6 wins, 30 World Cup medals, 2 European Championships, and a World Cup overall Crystal Globe as well in her career. 6:44 getaway. She's one of the few that's raced here in World Cup before. Only Janine and Marina Gilardoni were in the last race that was actively run here back in 2012. Janine finished 11th then. She has not improved on that by the end of today. That will be a huge shock. Just 900s back. Gave away 700s of those to the leader at the start. And she's on target for the track record on the skid. And you can see some of these corners really corkscrew through them. Double pressures. Double pressure here in 16 as well. Nice exit from Janine Flock, 3,500s up. She is going to absolutely crush the track records. Records are going to be tumbling all weekend, and a 101.49. That's a huge run from Janine Flock. That is 1.4 seconds quicker than the track record that stood at the beginning of the morning. And again, right up to the end of the ice. That's how much speed they're carrying. The track workers have been working day and night here, really fining up this ice, and it shows. Long skid there from Janine, but on this track, you've just got to let it go a little. 5 sleds down. Janine Flock leads by nearly 0.6 of a second. First heat, race 4 of the Women's Skeleton World Cup. Next up, Anna Fernstedever, our double junior world champion in women's skeleton. Martin Haven trackside for IBSF TV, watching the action here in La Plagne in France. Well, Fernstedever is going to lose out at the start, a 6.81 compared to the fastest start, 6.33. Again, like most of the women in this field, has very little experience of the track. Some of them have never been here before in their lives. Many of them have never been here before in their lives. So they've had a total of 6 training runs. They're definitely finding that the ice is quicker today than it was in training. It's been getting quicker and quicker all week long. It's going to be sunny Saturday and Sunday here, so the ice is going to be like greased lightning. 8/10s back, 3,700s behind at the start. She's behind Frenchwoman Agathe Bassard, holding at 8/10s behind. Nice exit down the straight. Through the final couple of corners, across the line, 5th place ahead of Bessard by 100th of a second. 102.47. The French woman's 102.46. Agate Bassar was 102.47, 102.46 for Anna Fehn-Stetova. Well, Anna won't be overjoyed with that. A lot of pressure in these corners, lot and lots of G-forces. One of the athletes this morning saying, come and watch La Plagne with views and a track that literally both take your breath away. And don't forget, we're at 1,800 metres above sea level now. We're not in a little bump in the land like we were in Winterberg last week. So this is a huge cultural shock. What's next up is our World Cup points leader, Jacqueline Lurling. 34th World Cup for the German girl. And she wears the yellow vest of our points leader. The reigning world champion, the Youth Olympic champion from 2012 Youth Olympic Games just opened in Lausanne, Switzerland last night. Sliding will be on the natural track, of course, in St. Moritz. 6:59 start. Jacqueline Lurling, fourth fastest start, giving away time at the start, but only 1500s to teammate Sophia Griebel. If she can find 3 or 4 tenths on the field in 1,300 metres of Winterberg, oh boy, how much is she going to find here? Now, she wasn't in the World Cup the last time they held a women's race here. In the January 2015 race, we hadn't met her. We met her at the World Championships in February 2015. She came in as junior world champion for Germany to her home games, her home Worlds in Winterberg. 1:26.6. That's the fastest speed we've seen. Half a mile an hour, over a kilometre an hour quicker than Janine Flock. She's closing, still a quarter second back. She's not going to lead from Flock, but she holds the gap at a quarter of a second. 1:01.76 for Jacqueline Lurling. 2,700s back, third place Sophia Griebel, 5,600s back, and everybody is gasping for breath at the bottom of this track. Think about it, you have to do a near 50-metre sprint, then at 1,800 metres of altitude, then lay down and barely breathe at all on the way down. And look at her form here. Fantastic through 16, tiny little toe steer just to stop too much height, big height on the exit. She controlled it well. Next up is Marina Gilardoni, her 75th World Cup start as a slider, 12 in bobsleigh, 4 medals in that time in skeleton. And she finished in 16th place here in the 2012 race, which was won by Katie Uhlaender, by the way, who is still sliding. So Marina with the fastest start, well, a faster start than our race leader now. Can she put in a quicker run as well? 2,300s up on Janine Flock. She finished 5 spots behind Janine back in the 2012 December race. This is looking like a good run. She's still in the lead. The gap is down to 800s of a second though. This could go either way. When 1:24.9, not as quick as Flock or Lurling. 200s back. This should be enough for second place. A little bit of toe dragging going on here. But a really nice looking run for Marina Gilardoni. Second place, 1:01.70. Now she's got a real opportunity here to claim another World Cup medal. Silver medal in Lake Placid back in 2016, her career best. Yet to win a World Cup race outright, but she's in here and swinging. Big strong start, controlled the pace well down the track. There's a few toe steers, and look at that left heel coming out. That means a big knee steer going on as well. Good run from Marina. No wonder she looks happy, if a little breathless. Well, next up, in her 46th World Cup, incredibly, 27-year-old World Cup champion from last year, Elena Nikitina. She was here in 2015 when the girls trained but didn't race. The makeup race was in Eagles. They had double race weekend for women's skeleton there. 7 career World Cup wins, 13 medals for Nikitina. And a new start record, 6:05. This is blazing stuff. Are we going to get into the 5s with the girls? Because between her and Mimi's start was 6:33. That's a phenomenal start for Nikitina. Absolutely astonishing. This long, flat start shows what a sprinter she is. Half a second up on Janine Flock. She started 3900s quicker than Janine. How much of this can she keep alive? Russia's racing has come on in leaps and bounds, particularly last season. She was the World Cup champion, won nearly half the World Cup races, and she's still in the lead by 3900s. It was out to 56, now it's coming down, but it's coming down slowly. Really nice lines from Nikitina. She's going to be a new track record holder, 1:01:37. And 20 minutes ago, the track record was a 1:02:81. We're a second and a half inside that nearly. Phenomenal start. And a phenomenal drive from Elena Nikitina of Russia. For the third time, the track record is just blown apart.
Всем привет! Мама, люблю! Фу.
Yeah, absolutely. After that, well, now here's another great sprinter, Megan Henry from the USA. From Roxbury, Connecticut, this Army slider, 32 years old, only her 4th World Cup. This is her first time in Europe. She's super lightweight, pushing a maximum weight sled, but she has got a great start as well. Where does she get to? 6:38, third fastest start in the competition. So starts off 3/10 behind Elena Nikitina. First time on this track from Megan Henry. Let's see what the young, small American can do here. Not trying for too much control. Knees apart there, very reminiscent of Katie Ulender with that wide apart stance and sliding. Control the rear of the sled. 124 kilometers an hour. About 2 Ks, 1.5 Ks down in terms of top speed. It's her 5th fastest start, 7th at the moment. Is this going to put her as the top American ahead of teammate Savannah Grable? Is it going to be enough for the top 6? It is, ahead of Mimi Reneva. Yeah, Caleb likes that, and so should Megan. That's a great run. Top 6 run on a track she's never seen in her life. Not sure if she's ever even been to France in her life. Megan Henry, well done. There's Coach Tuffy Latour. Little late exit. When you're late off the corner and you bump down onto the track, just takes energy out of the sled.
Good.
Yeah, it was good. Big smile from Meg. 10 sleds down in race 4 of the BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Cup in La Plagne. Elena Nikitina leading from Janine Flock and Marina Gilardoni. 10 down, 11 sleds to go here in La Plagne, France. Next up is Kim Malmans, her 34th World Cup. Raced here in the Europa Cup in her early career as a German slider before she started sliding for Belgium. 6:43 start. World Cup career best, 5th place in Koenigsegg, Bavaria. She was schooled in the Christopher Schuler in Berchtesgaden, so that's literally her home track. 6th fastest start. Hovering around the same area as Sophia Griebel, Megan Henry, Savannah Grable and Mimi Reneva. Still a top 6 run. Oh, little late exit there. Absolutely flying here, 123, that's 76 miles an hour. Speeds get up very high, very early. Lots of G-forces in the corners. She's losing speed though. The gap's gone out from 3800s to 8800s. Going to be a 9th place run behind Savannah Grable by 300s. Kyle Tress coaching here. He was one of the men who raced at the 2015 race. just stops on the mat behind the concrete, above the concrete. Want to run onto the concrete, that'll destroy your runners. Late exit there off 6, really flew across into the other wall. And here down in 16, big double pressure, getting the toe steer, middling line for her. Yeah, boom, bash. That's why a lot of them have got bleeding chins and bleeding noses. 10 sleds to go, 11 down. We get to Tina Hermann, last week's winner by just 0.02 of a second. That was her 8th career World Cup win, her 23rd medal. Double world champion. Tina Hermann's 44th World Cup. Last week was her 23rd medal in 43 starts, 6:47. So not going to trouble Elena Nikitina at the start, but Janine Flock, second place by 1200. She started 6:44, so there is definitely room for a slider like Hermann to put herself into the medals here. This track is so much about the drive. It's a huge starters track, but with 19 corners, all of which really demand your attention. Nice exit, little tidier than the last sled we saw down. 6th place run at the moment off an 8th fastest start. So she's chasing teammates Sophia Griebel, who's 5th, and Jacqueline Lurling, who's 4th. Still 6/10 back, head up a little just to check the line. She's going to be top 5, she is 5th place. Between Jacqueline Lurling and Sophia Griebel. Lurling 900s ahead, Griebel 2/10 back. So Tina Hermann, maybe in with a shot of the medals. Bronze, Marina Gilardoni only 1500s ahead. And there's at least 1500s to tidy up in this run, just in those 2 replays alone. Little tidier exit off the 2 corners. They'll have to adjust the speed very early in this track. Absolutely, this is really breakneck pace, this track.
Let's go, Kendall.
Kendall Westenberg from Modesto, California. 36 World Cup start for Kendall. 2 medals in her World Cup career. Silvers in St. Moritz and bronze in Lake Placid.
Go, 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 go!
So you have to lay down a long way before the brow on a skeleton sled. Unless you are Elena Nikitina, 6:78. You see some of the bobsled athletes running the sleds, particularly in the 4-man, all the way into turn 1. This is like St. Moritz. For some of the starters, it really allows them to stretch their legs. Neat so far, 4 to 5 out of corner 6. Flop. 7, 8, 9 coming very quickly down into corner 10. And then 11, big skid off 10. Screwing down through corner 12. Little brush on the wall in 13. There's 14. Here we go, that's 15 already. And big corner 16, hit on the wall. 11th fastest start. She's going to end up behind French slider Agathe Viesturs, so Viesturs guaranteed to make the second heat. Kendall 102.84. Again, first time here in her career. She'll tie that up for the second heat. 19 corners, 19 opportunities to make a mistake. When you've only got 6 runs under your belt, they come at you pretty quickly. Warming up at the top of the track, Jane Channel of Canada. Trained here in the 2015 World Cup aborted race. The make-up race was the race in Eagles, and keen skeleton followers will remember that as the race of Jane and the Brooms. 42nd World Cup start for her. So she has got experience of the track, limited. Let's see what she can produce. Another strong starting athlete, runs it right to the brow. 6:28 getaway. That's the 4th fastest start in the competition. 100 slower than Marina Gilardoni, who's in 3rd place. Now let's see what the Canadian slider can produce. Long skid there and a lot of body work to tidy it up. Out of corner 4, down into 5 and 6. Flop off 6, late again out of 7, and that leaves you late in 8, late in 9, late into 10. Tidied up, here we go, 11 to 12. Counter steer again to get all the way right to 12, flying through 13, and then corkscrewing down again through 14. You drop a couple of stories into 15, another couple into 16, another couple into 17. Absolutely rocketing down the hill, but 4 miles an hour down in speed. All of those skids early on have really cost her. 4th fastest start, 14th at the line. Really disappointing for Jane Channel. All of that body movement just robs you of speed. Every time the body's going sideways, the sled going sideways on the ice. Chest heaving with exertion. But again here, watch the whole hip swinging out there. Huge skid she's trying to straighten up. Again here, late on, late off. Body being thrown around by the G-forces.
From Great Britain, from Plagne Smith, the track is clear. La piste est libre.
And a long toast here there as well to get the line. Next up from Great Britain, Maddie Smith from Hazley in the Midlands, 24-year-old in her 13th World Cup start now. 2 top 10 finishes in Samoritz and Innsbruck. So a long a short gliders track and a long racers track. 6:52 start. The former 100-meter hurdler. 10th fastest start. Well, let's see if she can break into the top 10 here again. Nice, neat line so far. Sliding on a British-built black rock sled. Top 10 run at the moment, 7,200s back. Lots of school kids having a day out on Friday. There were a lot here yesterday as well, learning about the sport and the track. Still a nice looking run. Maddie Smith still in the top 10. Not going to challenge Elena Nikitina, the race leader, from here. 1:24, that's 4 kilometers down in terms of pace. Still a top 10 run from Maddie Smith. This could be one of her career highs here. Neat and tidy, she hasn't got an awful lot of speed to play with. She's keeping the sled off the walls, 11th at the line, and she is 400s out of the top 10. 1:02.37 at the line, 1:02.33 from Kim Marmans is 10th best. Good run from Maddie Smith.
1:37, 1:02.
Unlucky 13th World Cup start for her. Seems to be going pretty well so far. Comes out of the belly of 16. Look at the head, completely controlled. Tiniest toe drag she's done there.
Hello everyone at home, thanks for watching.
Elena Nikitina, Janine Flock, Marina Gilardoni, the top 3. 15 down, 6 to go here. Our 16th starter in La Plagne is Laura Dees, the 31-year-old, originally from Wrexham in Cleveland, now lives across the border, Chippenham in Wiltshire. Olympic bronze medalist, trained here for the 2015 race, and then they raced in Innsbruck. 6:33 getaway, and that is the 5th fastest. That is right in there and swinging with our quick starters. She can have a neat and tidy run. A skid there. Another 3 into 4. A good correction from the 4 to 5. Nice exit of 6th up. 5th fastest start in 6th place at the moment, Laura. World Cup season so far. 10th and 21st in Lake Placid for Laura, and 13th last week at Winterberg. Could do with a strong result. 10th place at the moment, a little wild now in the quicker portions. Oh, and a big hit of 16. That robs her speed down towards the finish. Struggling to control the sled, still in 10th place. This will put her ahead of Kim Milmans at the line. No, drops down in 14th. Those hits at the bottom have cost her. So Maddie Smith, 1 second off the lead. Laura Dees, 1300 behind her. Great Britain's other Olympic bronze medalist Don Parsons retired in the Christmas break. Laura still continues to compete. Lizzie Arnold, of course, the double Olympic gold medalist, had her first child last year. Whether we see her on ice again remains to be seen. Well, Laura buried there by the G-forces.
Hi everyone at home, thank you for watching.
Some of that up in the second heat. 23rd World Cup start for 25-year-old Renata Kutsina. She didn't race in North America, so made her World Cup debut for the season last week in Winterberg, 2020. World Cup best 8th place for her. Let's see if she can fight her way into the medals here, potentially. 6:47. It's a little more at the start. Athletes with very restricted knowledge here. 10th place at the start. Little skid down, 4 to 5. Decent exit off corner 6 though. 12 into 13. Down now, out of corner 16. Big skid, avoids the hit on the wall. Real self-preservation there. It's both pressures. Good exit. Moment. 10th at the start. 12th here. Ahead of the Stetova. Speed's not stellar. 12th place at the line. 102.39.
Renata Kutsina for the first run.
Renata, top 12. Elena Nikitina, her teammate, is the race leader. 1.02 seconds quicker. Nikitina was 4200s quicker at the start. So to be only 6200s below shows a pretty decent slide from Renata. Well, the third Russian athlete next up, that's Yulia Kanakina, 24-year-old, raced here in Europa Cup, hasn't raced here in the World Cup. This is her 29th World Cup start. 2017's junior world champion. World Cup best bronze medal in Altenburg 2019, where the World Championships are at the end of February this year. Let's see what she's got at the start, 6:14, that's pretty decent. She's a quick sprinter, second fastest start in the field. Giving away only 900s to her teammate. Could we have a Russian 1-2 at the end of this heat? Oh, long skid for Nikitina. Really had to work hard on that. Not hitting her marks the way for Kanakina, not hitting her marks the way that Nikitina was. You can hear a lot of toe work as well. That scratching noise, frequent on these corners, is the chin on the ice. Just ballet dancing away, tip-tapping with the toes. 5th place at the last split, down to 7th place. This should still be a top 10 run. Head up, just checking the line. You see that from just about everybody here. They really don't know the track at all. 10th place, 102.33. 102.33 before this heat started would have been comfortably a new track record. Savannah Grable started at 102, ran 102.30 to be 9th. And we have a tie for 10th. Kim Marmons and Yulia Kanakina. Again, like early on, like Jane Channel, big skid there. You saw her working really hard to correct it. Okay, great view here through 16. Very low line and holds it low. That's a lot of steering. That's where her speed's gone. She needs to have the courage. That's what it is, to take that big high first pressure. 7th World Cup start for Calgary's Maddie Charney, the 25-year-old Canadian. Winterberg was her first ever World Cup outside North America. This is her second. Learned French in school, but she says when you try and speak French outside Quebec, nobody has a clue what you're saying. They just look at you and go, yeah, you're Canadian. 6:52 start for Maddie. Well, a little cleaner early on. Long skid there. Into 4, out 6, right up by the wall. This upper labyrinth down to the big corner 10. So many of these corners here, little on pressures, but now we're in the big corners, corner 12. 13, just a little bit, 14, and then corner 15, again, working hard for control. Spreading the legs there, stops the sled oscillating. It's the rear knives engaged in the ice. And it really robs you of speed, and you can see the sled looks slow now. 18th chain channel, 19th at the line, Maddie Charney. Well, that means Jane will make the race, guaranteed. She has one sled behind her, that's her teammate. 4:42 for Maddie Charney. And it is possible that she might miss out on a second heat here. Wild ride again, look, really struggling for control. Legs akimbo, really engaging the rear knives just to try and stop the sled fishtailing wildly. And at those speeds, like they're doing 75 miles an hour and more. 20th of our 21 sliders, Lin Huiyang, the 21-year-old from Ningbo in China. 4th World Cup start. Although she did Junior Worlds and World Championships last year, didn't start a World Cup race until Lake Placid. 6:38, shouted off the top by Willi Schneider, skeleton men's world champion. And skeleton men and women of China are also being coached by Andy Schmidt. Andy Schmidt won his men's skeleton world championship title in La Plagne. Yesterday we were talking about the old days on this track. 8th fastest start for Lin, out to 12th place. 14th at the moment. How's she doing in terms of pace? 1:21.9, faster speed there, Jacqueline Lurling, 1:26.6, so losing pace with all these skids. Still in the race, 15th place at the moment. Still a little skiddy, lots of correction going on, and at the line, where is she? 18th, so she's in the race. Jane Charney is 19th, Maddie Charney is 20th, so she is in for a second heat, 1:03.02. And one sled to go, so either Maddie Charney or Kimberly Murray will miss out. Again here at Lin Huiyang, really struggling to hold on to the sled there. And through 16, allowing that big first pressure, didn't really have the speed for the big second pressure. Our final slider then is Kimberly Murray, originally from the Isle of Wight, now lives in Bath, where the High Performance Training Centre is. 9th World Cup for Kim, former long jumper. Raced here in the Europa Cup in December 2017, so of all our athletes, she has got perhaps the most relevant recent experience of this track. World Cup best, 7th place in Calgary, Canada. 6:47 getaway. It's the 12th fastest start. Can she convert that into an appearance in the second heat? Neat and tidy exit. And again, looking good as she tracks down from 5 into 6. Little wild off 6. And then 7, 8, 9, 10 come at you, flying down into 10. Again, rub on the wall out of 10. Past the women's loose start between 11 and 12. 14, then 15. Still fighting it into 16. 12 fastest at the start. This is the 19th fastest run at the moment. She too is losing speed. Really got to be quiet here to try and make it into the race. It's her or Maddie Charney, and at the line, it's Maddie Charney who is out. Kim Murray is in 18th, ahead of Lin Yang, Jane Channel, and Maddie Charney. So it is Canada's Maddie Charney who will not be in our second and deciding heat. So Kimberly Murray makes the cut. Just a little right there, she tries to stand up how slippery ice is. Well, late off 6, you see a lot of gouges there in the track. As the bunks on the runners, those little metal bumpers, if you like, that stand out by the athlete's shoulder. They're there nominally to protect the athlete, actually it's really to protect the sled. So she looks a little disappointed with the run. It did get wild and away from her, but she can change the setup. Somebody who may not want to change the setup is our first heat leader, Elena Nikitina, with a start record and a track record. An absolutely smoking run from the Russian. The sled wasn't too loose and wild. She rode it brilliantly down the track. An absolutely blinding first heat. She leads by 0.12 of a second from Janine Flock of Austria, with Marina Gilardoni and Jacqueline Lerling squabbling for the bronze medal. Tina Hermann may not be out of it, so there may be 3 going for bronze, 5 going for medals. Further back, Sophia Griebel, Megan Henry, great first run from her, Mimi Reneva and Savannah Grable ahead of our joint top 10 finishers, Kim Marmons and Julia Kanakina. Maddie Smith, the best Brit, in 12th, and Fayen Stetter in 14th. Local girl Agathe Bessard, 15th on her World Cup debut. Well, that's it. Join us for our second heat. We are back at 11:30 Central European Time, 10:30 Greenwich Mean Time, 05:30 Eastern. I'm sorry about the time, but the action will be worth coming back for. Till then, from me, Martin Haven, the IBSF TV crew, au revoir from La Plagne. We'll see you in a little over 45 minutes.